Okay,
I'm
here we
switching.
go.
I'm switching. Okay, we got 10 seconds.
I'll let you tell the audience that the phone lines aren't working.
Okay, I'm so bummed out about this. They can send text messages.
So are they seeing this right now, or are they seeing us?
They're actually seeing the both of us at the moment. Hey, we are on the air, as a matter of fact. We are caught little unawares. Welcome to the program. I'm here with Jason. Hey, Jason, welcome to the show.
Steve, you need to turn your phone off. Thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. The reason I'm having you back, actually, is that you posted on Facebook that you wanted to put on your own TV show.
I most certainly have. It's been a dream of mine since I was a little boy. I've been watching Oprah, Ricky Lake, Jerry Springer, Jenny Jones, little flashback to Jenny Jones, and I thought, and I've been getting in trouble for talking since the first grade. You know, I'm a talker. I talk shit. I talk a lot. I talk about everything, and I'm very interested in hearing people's stories and hearing crazy, insane anecdotes. And so it's sort of been a dream of mine my whole life.
So you posted on Facebook, I want to put on a TV show. And
I did.
I thought, okay, I have a TV show here. It's every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, but I'm a public access TV producer, and I want to get a little more away from just doing the routine interviewing, and I want to bring some fresher elements into it. And I thought it would be a fun idea if I was just played the guy who pushes the buttons right here, and have somebody else basically interview the guests and talk to the guests and basically have their own show, and I'll just be an assistant, and that person is you.
Yay! Well, I think you can be my straight man. I mean, because people think that people with English accents are naturally smarter. So, so having you as our technical guy will be not only the jokes write themselves, but we can make fun of the fact that you're British, that you have bad teeth. I don't think you have bad teeth, though, do you?
Hold on.
No,
I think I have lovely teeth. They've cost the government a fortune.
They're sterling, and
they are sterling. Actually, there's some gold in there too.
I really appreciate the opportunity. People are so excited. I got stopped by my old roommate. I get drag queens have already offered up to offer restaurant reviews.
Nice.
Spoken art. People want to talk shit about politicians they don't like on the air. I've had local politicians in San Francisco offer to make guest spots. So the populace of San Francisco is very much aware that this is coming, and I think because I sort of have a small reputation in San Francisco for being, a multimedia artist, and or a media whore, as some people would say. That people are definitely aware of and excited. So I really appreciate that.
So have you come up with a title for the show yet?
Well, seeing as though the show is on at 5 o'clock.
Well, I want to talk to you about that, but.
It's on at 5 o'clock, and I think that a lot of my ideas that we've discussed,
yeah.
I definitely want to push the envelope as far as it can be pushed, and while staying respectful and staying classy, but also being humorous. My interests lie in politics, and I grew up with a lot of drag queens, so I have a lot of, nothing's out of bounds for me, and also in the world, so politics, drag, entertainment, are sort of like my forte, and AIDS activism. So those are sort of the things I want to intermix that, and sort of like come with this like jambalaya, of characters and flavors and crazy.
So I'm hearing words like jambalaya, out of bounds, and all this sort of stuff. And I'm nowhere am I hearing the working title that you came up with, which was
Talking Shit with Jason Villalobos.
And you're cracking up.
Well, because here's the thing. I think there's the slang term "talking shit," and it's something that I thought would get people's attention. It's something something that I'm really good at, and something that definitely my friends are well versed in. I think that's there's the art of snapping. When I was a teenager, we used to call it snapping, and that's when you sort of like hurl these insults. You almost thought of it as like a jousting, like a fencing competition, but verbal, and it was something that you did. And that's sort of like, we don't say snapping anymore. We say talking shit, or verbal fisticuffs, or debate, or what have you. And I think that my friends are really quite adept at that. And I think that I'm excited to engage with them and the local populace of San Francisco on the air.
Well, I had some reservations about the working title.
Of course you did.
Well.
You're British.
Well, yeah, you make a very good point, as a matter of fact, because
And what did you think? What was wrong with the title?
Well, I believe. Well, that was the funny thing is, in terms of where it captures the zeitgeist of today's culture,
I love that word.
I think it's perfect. Maybe we should call the
you.
show Zeitgeist.
I love that. I love that title.
What, Zeitgeist?
Yeah. I like that bar, too.
I think the bar's good, too. I think we just got ourselves a new title. Congratulations, Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist, I like it. It's catchy. You know, a lot of people don't know what it means, so they know it's exciting and like, you know.
What is Zeitgeist? Yeah.
It's like I just think of the tamale lady and like, you know, you know, all you can drink beer. Yeah. And if we can have tamales and all you can drink beer on my show, then I'm all for it.
That's really awesome. Now, so about my reservations with the title.
Oh yes, that's right.
Well, let's move on beyond that.
Okay.
I think we're already well beyond that part.
All right. By the way, did you hear that Demi Moore was just rushed to the hospital for substance abuse? This is like a new, just happening thing in the news right now. I was on Facebook. I know everyone's really concerned about Demi Moore, but
this saves you having to go to Facebook, by the way, because you're going to hear about it right now.
I know you're going to hear about it right now. Right. And I've always thought she was a little bit skinny.
Over things. So she's rushed to the hospital for substance abuse.
That's what TMZ and all of the, you know, you see when you talk about this on your show, Stephen. You talk about these like, you know, medical marijuana and having Bevan Duffy on. See, I'm going to talk about trash. I'm going to wade through the mud. I'm going to crawl under the barbed wire, and we're going to get to the heart of the matter, things that really matter. Like, what is Demi Moore's drug of choice?
That was the question I was about to ask.
Well, you know, I think I was telling you before we went on the show that just like in the gay community, in the straight community, if you're a crack addict or a crystal meth addict, I mean, you don't want to say that. I mean, well, who wants to say I'm a crack addict? So the go-to drug of Hollywood is, well, I had a cocaine problem. Right. And isn't it funny that cocaine is now like the safe drug?
Right. Isn't there also the classic pharmaceutical thing where people are doing the pharmaceutical parties with the
I don't know. Is that a new
Vicodin
thing?
And the Oxycontin and all those yummy.
So.
Heath Ledger. I mean, come on. I mean,
is that the
so that was his substance abuse problem, I suppose. So do you think Demi could be in a hospital being rushed to that?
She certainly could. I think pills are very safe. I mean, I'm not.
Well,
I mean, it's a 5 o'clock hour. Kids do not raid your mother's medicine cabinet. They're gonna be like, the man on public access TV said you had really good stuff in there. Just like, but don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. I've had too many friends in rehab.
I can relate to that. And by the way, you should be doing your homework. But
turn the TV off. Turn the TV off.
That's right.
But like, so I think that. Well, I see, because I never, I've had my experimental days, and I was never a pill person, so that doesn't even, enter my mind, but I think that's a very good possibility. We also have to wait and see, because then, people are, being, all those interns and nurses and doctors being bribed. I used to work at Fred Segal in Hollywood, and when I was young, and Salma Hayek, Posh Spice, Lil' Kim, John Mayer would come in, and the day that Victoria Beckham was to arrive, the phone rang, and this is a true story, by the way. The phone rang, I picked up and said, hello, thank you for calling Fred Segal, and they said, we heard David Beckham is, I can't do an English accent.
That's obvious.
That's pretty accurate, right?
Yeah.
And they knew before, she even walked in, they wanted to know what she bought, and they were calling from London. It was a London tabloid. And so, of course, I hung like, Victoria Beckham isn't here. Hang up. 2 minutes later, in walks an English woman holding a baby. I said, hello, how are you? She's like, hello, how are you? And another woman walks in. I'm like, well, hello, how are you? She's like, hello, how are you? And then a third woman carrying another baby. I'm like, God, who the fuck is coming? Like the Queen of England? And then in walks Victoria Beckham. And in all her Victoria Beckham glory. That's right. And she was quite rude, actually. But I know.
So where were you when she waltzes in? You were working for Fred Segal.
Yeah.
What is Fred Segal for me and many others who I'm sure don't know?
Well, for the fashion ignorant,
that's me, by the way.
Fred Segal is a fashion boutique in Los Angeles. The first one was on Melrose. They now have one in Santa Monica. And it's sort of like when you read like Us Weekly or People Magazine, I always see Paris Hilton exiting Fred Segal, Lindsay Lohan leaving Fred Segal.
Oh, okay.
And I was like 23 at the time, and I just moved to Los Angeles, and I had no idea what Fred Segal was. So don't worry, I didn't know what it was.
Thank you.
And I got a job there after like 4 interviews. Like, who do these people think they are? 4 interviews. And on my first day, I met Greg Kinnear, Tori Spelling, and Robert Downey Jr. actually. And I was like, oh, I get it now. But back to the subject we had. I know the fact that they had spies on the staff. So whenever someone would come in, like Salma Hayek would come in, one of the coworkers would be like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And someone would go back and like text message the tabloids that so-and-so had arrived. And I would like look out the window. There was like literally, this is my life for a while. I would look out the window and there'd be like this phalanx of paparazzi. Like people would be like in the trees. And I'd be like looking out the windows, and I'm like, God, who's here? I'm like, how did they know someone was here? How did they even know she got here? It's must have been I must have been tailing her. And my girl was like, well, I'm like, how much are you getting paid? You better give me a cut for someone to tell on you. They never did.
So I suppose this is part of the zeitgeist that belongs in your culture, that you relate really well to popular
celebrity culture, gossip, politics. I'm very involved. People sort of know me for my HIV and AIDS activism, and the one disadvantage to being known for that is, I think people have this perception of me that I'm this angel, and I'm not. I'm a regular person, and I like dirty jokes, and I make mistakes, and I stick my foot in my mouth just like everyone else does. And the unfortunate part about becoming more known publicly is, people have an opinion on everything I do or say. And so I'll make like a joke. I made a joke about Jennifer Hudson's Weight Watcher commercial, and I got a very passionate, angry letter about someone saying I was making fun of obese people and that I was ruining all the goodwill that I had built up for being an AIDS activist and that I was offending, and this guy was never gonna read anything I ever did again. And then I get letters for everything that I say. This
is on Facebook,
on Facebook, yeah,
right?
primarily,
right.
yeah.
Because this is your main.
The vein that gets tapped,
right?
For the public, and it's just a weird experience to be like this kid from Lompoc, California, that led a very unremarkable existence to now becoming this person who is somewhat known and is now to be attacked for anything I say now. So I just kind of take it as it is, and I'm just gonna stay true to who I am. And you don't like it, then go ahead and attack me. That's fine.
Well, the interesting thing about public access television, and I spoke to the director here a couple of weeks ago about my concerns for talking shit with Jason. Could we use that title on the air at 5 o'clock? And he actually made a very good point. I mean, they've expanded their business hours. We could record the show actually, for air at another time. So you can call it whatever you like and do whatever you like. So it could truly be an extension of,
see the smile on my face,
what you want to do, as opposed to some sort of slightly newsy interviewee thing.
Well, I think there's something going to be that aspect because, again, I'm very involved in the political process here in San Francisco, and there's definitely going to be, we're not going to have drag queens pulling enemas out of each other's butts on the air. Did you like that visual? Did you like?
I'm thinking of it as we speak. Okay.
And we're going to have some hard-hitting questions because the reality is that I am concerned about the political process in the United States. I'm very involved in advocacy for HIV and AIDS, and I don't want any of my different facets of my personality to take away from any of the other facets, and that these are all of the things that make up who I am, and there's all the things that I hope that my audience will follow. It'll be a crazy adventure, and I'm excited about this.
That's exactly it. That's it, yeah.
And I'm excited about this television show because I want people to click it on and not know what to expect. Are we going to have a hard-hitting debate between myself and Scott Wiener, who's a district supervisor, which is a sort of a city councilman here in San Francisco, one episode? I sure hope so. And in the next episode be a drag queen restaurant review? Absolutely. I mean, that's sort of like the unpredictable X factor that I want this show to have. And to click it on and be like, okay, what are they going to do this week?
Well, that sounds actually really exciting. I mean, I'd be inclined to want to watch that show.
You better.
Yeah, no, because I've been stuck.
You're going to be in the studio.
Pushing the bloody buttons.
You're going to be pushing the buttons.
Yeah, yeah. So it better be halfway decent.
I didn't realize that from that one Facebook posting that so many people were going to be. I'm really excited that so many people are excited about the show, but it also sort of makes me a little bit nervous because I had one person say, "Can I be in the studio audience?" And I'm like,
"Hold on. I have to point something out to any people at home. The studio audience consists of 2 chairs, which are right under the camera where I'm looking at you now. So that is it."
I mean, it's not like the Oprah, which is one of the things I'm known for. It's not like the Oprah Winfrey show where there's a green room, and when I flew to Chicago,
it's like green room here.
We were fed like lunch and like croissants and like all this stuff. There is no refreshments. There's like.
Hold on, I'm going to take exception to that one too.
What?
We offered you water. You got fresh water from a machine, no less. It's filtered. I mean, this is Bayback.
Well, there's going to be another upgrade for my show because I'm going to offer Kool-Aid. I'm going to
comes out of your budget.
Shake it in a thermos, and I'm going to gnaw off a piece of beef jerky, and then there you go. That's your food and drink for the hour.
Have you also seen the white eco-friendly limousine that we have? It's called the 33 bus.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm like, ride your bike. We'll lock it up in the front, and hopefully one doesn't.
It'll still be there when you
get tire doesn't get stolen.
Exactly. Well, do you have any? You're mentioning some of the guests. Are you lining people up yet, or is it still too early?
You know what? I don't even have to line people up. I've had so many people offer to be on the show already.
Okay.
But what's really fantastic about having an artist community of friends these people are ready at the drop of a hat to go. There's no nervousness. These people have been on stage. These are seasoned performers. My friends are cabaret stars, drag queens, comedians, performance artists. So these people, I mean, there's no hesitation. I mean, if anything, they're grateful to have another venue to express their artistry and to get the word out about their shows. And so I already have like a list, like 20 people deep of like I sort of have like my home team. My season is like a season crew. These people could go. I could call someone right now on the air and say, "Can you make it and do your thing?" And we could have 4 people here right now. And I think that's really fantastic that these people trust me. I'm not an artist like they are. But I'm included because I do other things. I do commercials and PSAs and speeches and stuff like that. But I sort of have an artist mentality, and I love my friends. I adore them, and so I'm ready to go.
Well, that sounds brilliant. And by the way, you mentioned phoning just now. I have to apologise. We are having technical difficulty with our phone line. I know, we should have tested it a little earlier.
We should have. I'm so sorry. I was so excited.
I was so excited in getting people, and I'm sure they're chomping at the bit to call now.
I know, because we're having such a great conversation.
We are having a marvellous conversation, and thank you for that. Now, oh yes, so Oprah is your favourite host, I hope? I assume.
What's that?
I'm sorry.
He's nervous, and he's so cute. Here's one thing that's really cute about Steven is that before we went live on the air, he's turning. You can't see him. He's turning red right now.
No, okay, now they can see me.
He's turning red now. And I think what's one thing really sweet about you is that you still get nervous, and I think that. I hope I get nervous because I don't want to be so in front of the camera where it seems wooden. I try to keep my vocal variation, all this stuff. But I love that you get nervous, and you may be the guy that's gonna be pushing the buttons behind my television show, but I'm gonna drag you out onto camera. So don't think that you're safe by any rate.
Oh damn! I was so hoping for that.
We're gonna get like a hook. We're just gonna hook you back on.
Well. Oh, okay. Well, actually, this is the other thing. I mean, I normally write lots of little cards for this show, and I did for last show as well. And I noticed when I was watching the interview last time, I'm seeing my head go over into the scene as I'm trying to read these things.
It was cute. It was adorable.
And this is the first show I'm doing entirely without the
like an extemporaneous speaking.
Entirely extemporaneous.
Yeah, I didn't learn that word until I actually majored in communications in college, so I have a degree in communications, and I'm also just a big mouth naturally, so it's sort of like it's my second nature just to be able to We're gonna go on and on and on and on. We're like, is Jason still talking? Yes, he's still talking. Let's, you know, go
you
to
make it seem so easy. You really
go to
do.
that safe place in my head. You know, water fountains. You know, childhood memories. I'm still talking. I'm still talking. You know, people are like, oh. I've been on dates where people are like, okay, is he gonna let me say anything here? I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Okay, now let's get down to some. Speaking of dates, when this show is, we're looking what?
When is the show? I have no idea.
We don't have it yet.
I have no idea when the show's starting. Well, it's my show.
It's right. I'm thinking maybe in early February at some time.
All right,
like the
let's
first
go.
week.
You hear that, kids? Get ready.
Yeah.
Put on your banana skirts and your fruity headdresses.
And we've actually got 1 minute and 45 seconds left.
Oh my God, have we already gone through the entire show?
We actually have managed to do that.
Holy crap-a-moly.
Yeah, you did a very good job again.
Well, you know what, I try to bring the energy. People think like, wow, this guy is the most annoying person. Because people know me as being very quiet and reserved. Yeah. But no one wants to show as a quiet, reserved person.
Tell me about it.
I am so excited for this opportunity. Yeah. I'm so excited to address the vast public audience of San Francisco and
the world. Don't forget,
and the world,
on the
internet. The internet is watching right now. Yes. And I want to say, thank you for all your Facebook comments and all your support. And I love you all. Yes. And Stephen, thank you so much for having me.
Well, you're very welcome. So keep the comments and suggestions coming in to Jason. I think the show's tentatively called Zeitgeist.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Or why not?
Are we still on the air?
We are still on the air. We've
Okay,
actually got just about 45 seconds left.
Okay, great.
Actually.
What are we going to say in the last 45 seconds?
Well, do a promo for your show. You got.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
I'm gonna, hold on. Let me just take the blurb off so it's not there. You got a clean screen. Go.
All right, here we go. The pressure's on.
30 seconds.
So, beginning early February, Zeitgeist with Jason Villalobos. I hope you watch. I hope it's something exciting, fun, unpredictable. We're going to be talking about politics, sex, love, Demi Moore's weight problem. What did she go to the hospital for? My family.
Look for it on channel 76 here on Public Access Television. Yay! Or on your cable at bavc.org. You can also find the show on the internet with a bit of luck. Take care. See you next time.